What I'm going to get to now is some logistics, folks. We're going to talk about the platform. So if I'm going to give you a little tour for a few minutes. So we start with, of course, the homepage, which is where you experienced a bunch of things this morning. And there's, we've got our set of nav across the top. I'm not going to walk through all that. It's relatively straightforward. But there's a couple of areas I want to draw your attention to. So the first one is that very first jump, which is sessions. This is where you're going to get all of the content that you really, when you come to San Diego, this is what you want. It's all those tech workshops. It's the SIGs. It's the thing you're going to a conference for. It's that education and learning, and importantly, it's getting your questions answered, because every one of those sessions, has a live team. They're there, they want to talk to you, they want to answer your questions. Again, just like we're in San Diego, trying to do the best for you. If we go to the next area, this is probably where you're going to spend most of your life this week. Is, if you select if you put an avatar in the system, you selected that, you're going to be into your account essentially. And the biggest thing here is your schedule. You can add all types of things to your schedule. Again, you're going to see those sessions, you add them to the schedule. You're going to have potentially meetings. You can launch everything from here. So what we've heard in kind of the testing of this is a lot of people are just going to their life is going to be on this page. And then they're going to just jump off of here. So this is a great place for you to kind of coordinate your life. Now, a really important thing, and this is the most difficult thing in virtual, for all of us that have been doing this for the past year and a half, it's connecting. So how are we going to connect to each other? Because like I said, we're here. We want to talk to you. We've got this messaging platform inside the system. You can schedule meetings with people. You can, basically with other attendees, with Esri staff, with our partners. And again, like I said, in those sessions, you're going to find the people that are making those presentations. They're here on the platform. They want to talk to you. This is the tab you're going to use to connect to those people, set up some time to chat. Furthermore, from an Esri staffing perspective, we have the virtual info desk. Here, we've got a set of Esri staff. If you're having any technical issues trying to find content, because of course we have so much, trying to find individual people, who's the right person you should try to reach out to, this team will actually help you connect to the content and the people you need to talk to. We also, even though we're virtual, have this concept of joining in on the fun. So if you scroll down the home page, you're going to see this area that we've got 3 items that are called out. Of course, we've got the virtual run, walk, and bike. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. We have the map gallery, which has all of your content that you've submitted. We'll see the awards later during the conference. And then we have a new thing this year called UC Geopros. Here what we're doing is trying to drive a little fun, a little gamification. You're going to earn some points, by going to sessions and favoriting different things and using the social networking activities with, chatting and things. And at the end of it, what we're going to do is we'll take the top 10 point scorers, and you're going to get an Esri swag bag, the kind of thing you'd pick up at the conference. One of the reasons you come to San Diego. Now, the last thing is we couldn't have a website without a map. We are Esri. So what I want to do is bring in Esri cartographer John Nelson, who's joining us from his headquarters in Michigan, which we have affectionately coined ShedX.
Hello, Nick.
And John, good to see you. It looks like you've actually given ShedX a bit of a makeover.
Hey, it's the same wooden box I'm always in, but this year I just turned the camera around and gave you guys the view that I normally have. You have something else to look at other than some pine.
Very kind. Very kind. So on the main homepage, we've got this cool, crazy globe thing going on. So first of all, what are we doing? Globes on websites. What? Talk to me here.
Imagine a world, where we can have a 3D web map. So the story is the team had designed the UC website, and there was a globe that was just an image. And James Hitchcock saw that and said, "Wait a second, why can't this be an interactive actual globe?" And so the ball started rolling. I suppose in a literal sense, we turned that into an interactive globe. We reached out to Raluca Nicola, Raluca is just a wonderful 3D designer. She's based in Zurich, Switzerland, and she designed this really kind of charming, papery, origami style globe. And the thing I like about this aesthetic, which is called low poly, by the way, it's a low poly design aesthetic, is it makes this world look like a cute, charming little ball of fun. It's a spiky ball, and those spikes represent where people are tuning in from.
Yeah, so we're using some of the cartographic techniques with basically the extrusion out of the 3D world to show quantities. So talk a little bit about this this kind of low poly design thing.
Yeah, sure.
What kind of why did we pick it? It looks really cool. But if you don't mind giving us some background, it's kind of this. What I'm thinking about is like we've got design, we've got cartography. They often meet to make beautiful things. And how do we get here?
Yeah, sometimes it can be a lot of fun to view our world a little bit more abstractly than we typically do. You might be accustomed to seeing a 3D globe on the web, and it's using satellite imagery as the base map. But this is a more charming approach, and the tack that Raluca took makes it like an object of joy. It's this fun thing. We're all sharing the surface of it. We're all kind of living in this little model, and we're seeing each other. And those, as you mentioned, those columns extruding out are the folks who are joining us this week. The folks who have registered. We've taken those cities, we've grouped the cities, and developer Jinan Zhang did an amazing job in implementing this and letting this data just come to life. And the cities, the users are grouped by their cities, for privacy's sake. And then we just throw out a column based on how many there are. And I hope people just have some fun with it. Spin it around, look for yourself, look for another area that you're interested in. But really, I want folks to have a sense for we're all sharing this place, right? And we're all map nerds, and we're all just geeking out about the fact that we get to talk about maps for a living. How cool is that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and so in one way, coming from the design space of it, there's always kind of the question, and you talked about kind of the object of joy of, so you've got like what we have is this beautiful thing, and then of course there's all the science that we do and all the science our users do. Yes. And you've got that, I think what you're trying to say is you can look at a map, you can look at a globe, and you can understand this is for science, this is real, and versus something like this is actually art and it's playful, like you said, an object of joy. Yeah. And that we should know the difference between the two of them.
Yeah, sure. Now, if I was approaching this from the perspective of, well, we need to make a scientific visualization that shows the number of participants here so people can get an immediate sense for, very specific numbers and stuff, we would do something very different, quite different. It would be a 2D map, likely.
Of course.
We wouldn't be using 3D extrusions, but the 3D extrusions are fun. So this is something that's supposed to be interesting and engaging, and it's not a scientific treatment of this phenomenon. It's a fun model of all of us together, all of us map nerds hanging out on the same paper mache world.
No, and it is a combination of like, hey, we're using the geocoding technology underneath, so we're using real tech. Yeah, please.
Tell you about that. So Matthew Keeling and Mike Harriger worked together, and they took all of these wonderful map folks that were joined by this week, and they aggregated them to the city, and then they geocoded the city. And the global geocoding was well over 99%. And when they told me that, I was like
wait, hang on, 99%.
That's what I said. Yeah, 99% for international.
That's because global geocoding is such a complex problem, and so shout out to the geocoding team.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They did a
cool.
great job. Yeah, it was very impressive. Geocoding to the city is a little bit more straightforward, but international, that's a tough nut to crack. Yeah. And nearly 100%. You just don't. It was a thrill. I love that.
No, that's great. So a couple of things before I let you go. We've got for everyone seeing the globe behind me. There's actually. Do you want to talk about a little blog that you wrote about this?
There's globes all. globes all over the place, Nick.
I'm talking about, yeah, I know, but I'm talking about, yeah, like, because, from the one that's actually behind me.
That is a VR globe. It's all fake and digital, and it's green screen. No, I'm just kidding. That thing is real.
Come on.
That thing is the real deal. It was, designed here at Esri and printed and sewn together and stitched together and assembled there in the new office building. And if you're curious about the process for like how does a GIS get involved in making a 8.5 foot diameter globe, check out our blog post about that, which we just released this morning in the ArcGIS blog.
I can't wait to read it myself, John.
Yeah, get ready to live.
I will. The last thing, do you want to let folks know that we're actually going to see you a little later today?
Goodness, yes. So this is one of the many joys of being a map person is you get to hang out with other map people and talk about maps. So I'll have a very small segment with some really talented hosts of Mappy Hour. So coming up later on is Mappy Hour, where three wonderful colleagues of mine will get together and chat maps. We'll talk about maps from the gallery that our users have submitted. Beautiful work. You could talk all day about the beautiful work submitted into the map gallery. What's not to love about that? And we'll have some fun. I'll join for a couple minutes about little tips and tricks, and we'll invite other folks in to talk about map making and give some professional advice, perhaps. But really, it's just a chance to have fun and nerd out together about maps.